everybody. It's our favorite time of the week. Again, we get to answer a few of your questions. Sagar, what's up first?
Number one, it's for you, from Tyler Humphrey. What conspiracies does Crystal believe? This is for Crystal. I tend to hear more skepticism around conspiracies from you. What are conspiracies that you believe to be true and why?
I believe the true ones. Those are the ones I believe. So, for example, JFK killed by the CIA.
It's not even a conspiracy.
That's not a conspiracy.
Yeah,
that's just friggin' fact.
That's a fact.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing with Epstein. Like, that sounds like a conspiracy theory, but that's just reality, right? I mean, I guess the step further with Epstein is that he was basically like an intelligence asset of these.
That's not a conspiracy
which I also
either.
think is just like backed up by fact now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's.
Come on, go something out there. What do you got? Charlie Manson? That's a good one.
Yeah,
you would like that.
Maybe, yeah. I did read that book.
Chaos,
that was fairly convincing that there was some U.S. government involvement there. But what other conspiracies? I don't know. That's all I got for you right now.
Okay.
But like I said, I believe the ones that are accurate, that have some fact. I'm not going to just go out on a limb on something that's like, well, it seems like maybe, and if you connect the dots, et cetera, et cetera. So there you go. That's where I draw my line.
There we go.
All right, next question from Laura Schiebel. Delaware man, DuPont and tax laws for businesses. Biden's reminders of being business-friendly and DuPont, not so environmentally friendly, struck me as very off-putting. How did these mentions strike you? What do you think, Sagar?
Yeah, I mean, this is the senator from Delaware. DuPont was the major chemical company in the state. Also, he was called the senator from MBNA, which was a credit card company at the time. He's the one who made it so you can't discharge student debt. Like, we really have erased so much of his actual financial record. On consumer debt specifically, he may be up there with some of the great villains of all time. Like a student debt, credit card debt, uncapping credit card interest. There's a lot of things that Joe Biden has done for the Delaware, Delaware business, and specifically like protecting a lot of their tax shelter laws and everything else that has benefited these companies to the tunes of billions and has made life a lot more miserable for people. We've each done monologues on this.
Yeah. But Laura, the reason why it's off-putting to you is because you undoubtedly know some of this background.
Right.
But people, I think there's still just this normie instinct of like, oh, pro-business, that's good. Without thinking about, without necessarily knowing the background of how much corruption that entails and how much screwing over regular people that entails, which is why it was so frustrating, not to bring up some old stuff, but back in the 2020 primary, when Elizabeth Warren, who had been one of his primary opponents with regards to bankruptcy laws in particular, when she decided that rather than hitting Joe Biden on his corruption and the way that his, middle-class Joe persona is completely undercut and invalidated by the way he screwed over regular middle-class people, rather than going after him on that, she instead did this, pink hat, identity-based attacks primarily on Bernie Sanders versus actually going after Joe Biden for the things she used to claim to care about. So I don't think people take those mentions as off-putting just off the bat, without having that context and that background, because I still think, one of the primary things Trump has going for him is people just think like, oh, businessman, good for the economy.
Absolutely.
I do think that there's just like this still, deeply ingrained normie reaction in that direction. So that's what I'd say.
All right, next question. Patrick Mulligan, read Dune. Can the panels to start reading Dune and discuss it every month? Its themes are more relevant now than ever. I'll make a deal with you, Patrick. I will read Dune 1, but the rest of them, I don't know, man. Jillian
You haven't read it yet?
Jillian's read all the books.
Okay.
It's a project. So, for example, I'm reading Shogun right now. It is a 1,200-page book, all right? It is a long-ass book. So, for me to read Dune, and I read only audiobooks, for me to read like a multi-thousand-page series, like that's going to take me a while. So, I don't know if I can make it all the way to book 7. Also, I basically know what happens because she's told me at this point, and this series takes place over 30,000 years.
Jesus.
It's a lot.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
That's an extraordinary mind to be able to put something like that
Frank
together.
Herbert was a genuine genius. I appreciate some of a lot of the stuff that he came up with probably now more than ever. He was a child of the psychedelic age and of the 1960s. He was truly disillusioned by the killing of John F. Kennedy, and he's an amazing guy to study and to think about in our current history. And I think Dune 1, as I understand it, again, not having read, but familiar with the theme, the idea of building up a protagonist and then tearing him down to show that that's bad, to have like a cult of personality savior, I think it's a very smart play. It's very rare that somebody would do that in fiction. So it's a cool idea.
A question for you, because I haven't seen any of the movie. I don't, everything that I know about Dune is basically like what you said just right now. Don't watch the movie.
No, you gotta.
Oh,
watch
do
them.
watch
They're
the
incredible.
movie.
Yeah, they're
So Kyle and I are going on a road trip. Should we listen to the Dune audiobook on the trip?
Yeah, it's convoluted. This is the issue. Like this one to say is that there are a lot of characters.
Oh, for
There's
real?
a lot of voices, and the world. This is part of why Dune is so appealing. Is the world building. It's like I mean, it's so intricate in terms of the Butlerian Jihad, which again is actually an amazing science fiction concept. Frank Herbert realized you cannot write sci-fi with predicting where technology would go with computers. So he baked in something called the Butlerian Jihad. Again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is that the idea was that computers became too powerful, so they just banned computing. So that way he did not have to grapple with artificial intelligence and all this stuff. In the future, he was like, yeah, the human beings rose up and they just threw off the computers. And so we get to deal in the realm of humanity in the future, which is a great plot device for thinking.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like I mean, the guy really was smart. I've listened to a little bit of the Dune one. There's a lot of voices. If you like fiction and all that, it's not bad. But like I said, specifically for me driving, that's a lot to take in.
Really?
I would have to focus, I think.
Okay. All right.
I like Shogun. The Shogun book is great. I've been listening to it right now.
Okay. All right. Good recommendation. All right. Next question. This is a comment, clarification, honestly, for both of us,
Okay.
although it's directed at you. Joseph Angelici.
Yeah, let's go.
What is dab? Sagar, dab is a highly potent form of THC resin extracted from marijuana using butane and cooking, making the smoking of this extracted resin almost 99% pure form of THC, which causes serious impairment issues.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the update.
Didn't know.
I wouldn't
hadn't really heard of
recommend
it. I'm so clueless. It's really crazy when it comes to things.
Don't indulge in that, Joseph. You should know that.
Very naive.
All right.
All right, last one. Justin Calco, favorite national park? You all seem pretty well traveled. Do you have a favorite national park? I do. Great Smoky
What's yours?
Mountains.
Oh, I haven't been. See, that's one of the few I haven't been to.
I love mountains. I love hike. It's so beautiful. I absolutely love it.
I don't know. I love them all. I mean, they all are so unique. Moab is pretty cool. Moab is cool because you're like on the surface of Mars. So that's arches. Glacier is a shade of blue that you will never see in your life. That's like the glacier melt in those lakes.
Oh, yeah.
That is incredible.
See, I saw that at Banff in Canada.
I think it's on the other side.
Yeah, it's
Banff's
that
on the other side.
unbelievable color, that turquoisey.
That's my thing. It's in Yellowstone. I mean, Yellowstone. There's just I think it's called the Lamar River Valley. You get to hike in there. You're like 5 feet away. I was closer to a bison than I am to this camera right now, which is wild. You're just walking around. Yeah, Shenandoah, where we live, is pretty nice.
Beautiful,
Yosemite's pretty cool. I mean, I can't pick. They're all cool. I recommend going to all of them. It's one of the best things you can buy. Is one of those $80 passes. I buy it every year. I use it all the time.
How many national parks are there? Do you know?
Let's look it up.
Yeah. That would be a good bucket list goal to go to all of them.
Let's see. There are 429
Wow.
units. Wait, that can't be right.
Units. More than 150 related areas.
Okay.
So maybe that's
No. There's
more.
63 national parks.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
California has the most with 9.
I'll tell you what's on my
Alaska
bucket
with
list
8.
is Denali in Alaska. I've been wanting to go there for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
New River Gorge is really beautiful as well.
Be good.
Yeah.
I've actually been to a decent amount of these. Redwood. See, I don't associate
to
Redwood
Redwood,
National
too.
Park with
Yeah, I
being
didn't think of that
because
as
you
being
just
a
go
national
there
park.
and it's cool. Sequoia is the same one. What else? Colorado. Yeah, Rocky Mountains. Damn. See, you gotta go. You gotta go to all of them. They're all good. All right, highly recommend.
Yeah, it is incredible the varied geography of the country. Like to be able to stay in the U.S. and see so much incredible, different, varied terrain is kind of amazing.
There's a Ken Burns documentary called National Parks. I think it's called National Parks Are America's Best Idea or something like that. Highly recommend it. You should watch it.
Yep.
And then you can decide where you want to go.
Yeah, it's the things we used to invest in back
There
in
you
the
go.
day. All right. Thanks, guys. Love you. We'll see you soon.